Hello Room Fighters. In most of the videos that have been following this book scene, people have been talking about books that they like, books that they don't like, and books that they want to read in the future, and I am not going to do that. Just to keep things a bit different, I'm going to talk about why I like the books that I like, why I don't like the books that I don't like, and then see where it goes from there. So, I'm going to start with the negative. So a lot of the books that people said that they don't like, it seems to me that the books that people don't like all share a common theme. And that is, they were forced to read them in school. Now, I completely understand this, and I share this. I had to read a book called Birdsong, and a book called Cold Mountain, and both of them books, I think, if I hadn't have read them in the context of, I'm forced to write them, and I'm forced to think critically of them, and I'm forced to write a 3,000-word essay on them, if I hadn't have read them with that in mind, I might have enjoyed them more. But I did read that with that in mind, and I hated them for it. There's something about being forced to do something, whether it's a film or, like, if someone says to me, oh, watch this film, it's going to be the best film you've ever seen. It's so difficult to get around to what, and there's so much expectation on it, and it's like you're being told that you should like it, and I completely get that, and I think it's the same with books. If you're told that this is something you have to do, you have to read this book, it's easy to become a little resentful. And I completely get why people say, oh, I haven't read Harry Potter. Well, fair enough. And actually, I think it's harder to read Harry Potter now because of the second reason of why I don't like some books. And the second reason is, I don't like it reading the book after I've watched the film, because I think one of the joys of reading is imagination. And things like, if people try and read the Harry Potter books now, they read a Harry Potter book and they picture Daniel Radcliffe or Emma Watson, and they picture all these people and so they don't get their own imagination. They don't get their own Hogwarts. I mean, the thing that was so special about Harry Potter was your imagination was allowed to create these wonderful things, and people don't get that if they've already seen the film versions. And I think it's the same with Lord of the Rings. So another thing I don't like is seeing a movie before I read the book. And the third thing I don't like is I think that some old books just get stuck in time. I think you read books sometimes and they're by people who are writers, and they've been taught to write and how to write properly, and it is correct and it is proper, and I think in the modern day that comes across as a bit stale. I have a big problem reading classics. Great Expectations would be an example of that. I mean, it's stuck in time. Yeah, it might be a classic. Yeah, it might say all these wonderful things, but at the end of the day, in terms of what a modern audience wants, I think it's completely stale. And I think that's something that a lot of classic books really do suffer from. And I think there's a lot of denial in the world of literature. Young people don't not want to read them because they're too hard or too difficult for them to understand, but because they're stale and they're stuck in time. And I think the sooner people and literary aficionados begin to understand that, the better. So stuff that I like. Sarah posted a really interesting video the other day about the fantasy genre and why she likes it so much. And I have to say, it's my favourite genre as well, and I completely agree with everything she said. One of the best things, as I mentioned before, about reading a book is imagination, and allowing your imagination to create worlds. Bringing it back to films again, the Never-Ending Story, as a kid, that's what got me into books. Seeing the way he was like, the metaphor for him being transported into a different world and experiencing things and being changed and affected because of it. That, for me, is what books are about. And I think the fantasy genre allows you to do that more than any. A recent book I read is called Game of Thrones. And why I enjoyed that so much is because I can picture every single place, and I can picture it so vividly. I can see it, I can feel it. When I was reading that book, I was in that place. I was completely there, and that is what, for me, the fantasy genre, that's why it's so special. Also, when I was reading that book, as well as journeying there, and I honestly felt like I was there, I was in that place, but the important thing is not going. The important thing is who you are when you come back. And the best books are the ones that affect you and change you, and they have some sort of impact on your life. I don't think it's any good reading a book and thinking, oh, I see what the metaphor was there. as opposed to, wow, God, I'm seeing things differently now. That's changed me. That's affected me, and I think the best books do that. Looking for Alaska did that to me. A Game of Thrones did that to me. Harry Potter did that to me. I think a book that can affect you, make you change your outlook on something or someone, I just think that is the most special thing about a book. Okay, Rune Fighters, that is my video about books. I look forward to whatever the next topic is. Goodbye. I'll see you at the after party. Don't forget to be awesome, and bye!